So we intend to break the casino in the world of spiritual finance. So how do we intend to do that? Stay to the end to find out. Stay to the end to find out. Oh, welcome to the news. Yeah. So what I'm talking about is breaking the casino in the world of finance and spiritual finance by leveraging spiritual finance to break the casino of the traditional finance realm. Typically speaking, the nature of traditional finance has to do with the essence of money flow, which corresponds to a traditional old school system. And in essence, we intend to try to flip that system upside down, topsy-turvy, based upon the principles of Renaissance technology, the old school hedge fund, which typically was leveraging mathematics to be able to reverse the flow, the energy flow, if you will, and they reverse the process. They reverse the process to try to win the game through mathematics of quantitative focus and quantitative development of methodologies and certain algorithmic practices which corresponded to shorting and buying assets that are typically correlated, and they became uncorrelated for a short time. And in a similar sense, we're trying to turn the casino upside down on its face by acknowledging in a similar fashion to the typical nature of finance, where typically people use finance for selfish means and selfish matters, whereas we intend to try to glorify the mindset, typically speaking, by turning the casino upside down on its face, by acknowledging, even though I'm not a religious person, I'm actually not one who follows a specific religion, that, in essence, money, in of itself, the nature, the principle, the purpose, the essence, the unique nature and the use and the relevance of money is, in essence, when it boils down to it, the purpose why it existed is to be what is called God's money. God's money. God's money. Meaning that, in essence, the nature of the purpose of money is to be able to serve the best purposes of the realistic essence of optimization among all human beings and all of humanity. So the purpose of why that's relevant today is because we're trying to also leverage something which is corresponding to how George Soros and Renaissance technology, one of the most successful hedge funds in the world, leveraged statistical arbitrage. So we're trying to leverage statistical spiritual finance arbitrage, if you will, to turn the casino upside down on its head by leveraging unique mindsets, such as the concept that you want to give as opposed to take. If you want to give as opposed to take, then it reverses the energy flow of the taking as opposed to the giving, and then in essence, the casino goes backwards as opposed to consuming money. It spits out money backwards in essence. It spits out money into the air, into the society, into the nature of communities, into the nature of humanity, to be able to benefit, and the essence of what the casino stands for, which is manipulating the game, to be able to leverage the casino's odds in the favor of the casino, to be able to reverse that mindset, to be able to spit the money back into the air, so that in essence the humans are able to leverage the conceptual potential of the resilience and the resistance of the casino mindset to be able to take, and it's about give in essence. And so we're also trying to leverage the nature of there's a movie called The Brothers Bloom. The Brothers Bloom! It's a movie which is interesting in terms of the theoretical nature behind it, which corresponds to developing little setups where they, in essence, make a fake process, where, in essence, the people that are inside the process don't realize they're inside of a process until the very end, and then they come out successful with, a theatrical game where, at the end, they've staged their success, and they've made their success sort of a part of the script, if you will, of the process, of the gameplay, which is a theater play, in essence, if you will, and it's very unique and funny and interesting as to how it is staging the essence of their success through a, so to speak, arbitrage, which their game was won before it was started, if you will, and that sort of is how the stock markets tend to be in many ways, because there's manipulative technology that's out there that tends to be able to take the favor away from typical players that step up to the plate to be able to try to play the game of finance, if you will. So if we take that mindset, if we take the methodology, we take the mindset, and we take the essence of playing, the essence of spiritual finance, options and derivatives contracts, and like I was talking about yesterday, talking about actions, options, contracts. So we're in essence trying to take the casino and flip it on its head by focusing on God's money, and it being God's money. And God's money is just a symbol for spiritual finance money, if you will, because in essence the purpose of all that money is purpose to be able to actually grace the hands and the good hands of all the human beings on planet Earth. So that mindset, that methodology of that casino running process process makes that game playing structure in the format where in essence the casinos are all spitting out money into the air. They're not consuming money. They're not trying to develop surreptitious processes where in essence they have devious practices and processes to try to lure and manipulate people to be able to stay inside walls where they can't see outside of windows, and they forget that they're inside for copious amounts of time, and they try to get them to get hypnotized and lose all their money. But it's backwards. It's a bright, fun, and interesting place in space, like, what has been projected as this, essence of what heavenly places and spaces are, where it's in essence the opposite. All the slot machines are spitting out money onto the floors, and it's all healthy food and healthy snacks and healthy food to be able to help nourish all human beings that are in and within and around the processes that are happening in these game-playing, fun, interesting spaces, because these casinos are all about assets. Casinos are about providing assets. These are providing asset mentalities, where it's a casino where in essence you're betting on the nature of actions, action taking. We're betting on the nature of the future of humanity. We're trying to leverage a new future. We're trying to be the Renaissance technology, the George Soros of the future for action taking in essence. That's how we're trying to leverage that statistical arbitrage of the future, by developing the fundamental interest to be able to focus on how to develop asset actions and develop therefore asset action contracts, by developing like a triangle, if you will, between in essence financial instruments as well as philanthropy and philanthropy energy, which is a different type of asset, and these two types of assets are typically not woven together. And when we have the third pinnacle of the triangle, which is creativity, trying to flow together to be able to help us develop these unique Brothers Bloom staged sort of mindset development coinciding spectacles, if you will, that correspond to the essence of theatrics and theater in the form of philanthropy energy flash mobs around the world. That we try to leverage the essence of the mindset of God's money, where the casino is backwards. It's backwards day every day from now on, where in essence the mindset is what's shifted, so everybody wants to give away their money. The essence of this purpose of this mindset shift is so that all the casinos are turned on backwards, so that everybody wants to give away their money. Once the realization is in place that if any single human being actually had all the money in the world, if they actually had that grace of being on that other side of the greener fence, where in essence they always see the side of the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, where in essence if they were on the other side of the fence and they literally had all the money in the whole world in their pocket, for example, they would soon realize that in essence just having enough cash to be able to facilitate one man's ability to be able to have a fun and interesting and unique and good and fun and funky lifestyle is pretty simple to be able to cover when it comes down to the brass tacks of what is necessary to cover those specific goods and services, if you will. That's one man out of the whole entire 8 billion person world. So what you would also soon therefore realize is that you had a whole heap and host of related responsibility on your shoulders after you've covered the expenses of one human being. And that therefore corresponds to the mindset that in essence we all share. 8 billion people share that responsibility of that conceptual mindset of being able to share that mindset among God's money, because God made this so-called money where everybody's able to get along through the system and the systematization of everybody flowing together and flowing and vibing within a mindset under the roof of what is called money. Money is in essence a principle and a practice and a process which is supposed to take care of all humans, all humanity, if you will. And so fundamentally, if we can leverage that mindset, the best nature of the best will, of the best purpose, of the best process, of that best inventions, practical optimization process in the backside of the mentality, which corresponds to the best given outcome for this principle called money to be able to serve itself, then in essence everybody gets everything. Everybody gets to share everything, and everybody gets to be part of everything and participate in everything, because everything is everybody's anyways, because God's supposed money means God is a character which corresponds to the essence of spirituality, and this whole podcast revolves around spiritual finance. Spiritual finance is the mentality of giving. It's the mentality of giving as opposed to taking, because just like I just said, if you had all the money in the world, you'd have a whole lot of responsibility. So guess what the first thing you might probably want to actually go ahead and do is try to hire people to be able to share that responsibility, if you will. You're hiring people to share that responsibility because nobody actually wants all that responsibility. So in essence, once we take all that responsibility and we parse it out by 8 billion people, as opposed to just trying to have other people pretend like they've got the ability to provide more value than others, it realistically boils down to the essence of education and educating the mindset that in essence every single single person has the ability to add value and add their own slice of value to the pie of value pie in the whole 8 billion person world, 8 billion person value pie, if you will. So that therefore turns the casino backside and backwards and upside down, in essence, like the Brothers Bloom, like the backwards Brothers Bloom, in essence, like we're turning the casinos backwards, in essence, and we've already won, and we've just turned the whole casino backwards, in essence, just by the end of this podcast, by acknowledging and realizing and making the relevance completely relevant yet again, that in essence we've got the understanding that now the essence of the process for the casino is actually supposed to be in our favor all along, all this time, by what is symbolized as what's supposed to be called God's money, and by this mindset methodology acknowledgement, if you will, by the purpose for the existence of money to begin with, that in essence illuminates and elevates the mindset and the mentality and the humanity of all humans and all humankind in the world to be fundamentally aligned in the process of sharing everything with everyone, all 8 billion people, to be able to develop the global philanthropy energy grid by solving all the problems in the world, making everybody help everybody else, by leveraging everybody else's personal brand to be able to acknowledge that uniqueness and that unique fundamental interest of everybody's inclusion in the 8 billion person in the world process, to be able to share the responsibility of the optimization process of the whole entire world's money, yeah! So that's the Brothers Bloom outcome of the George Soros fundamental hedge fund, if you will, to be able to take care of all humans and all animals in the whole world collectively, connectively, all with each other, by each other, for each other, next to each other, connectively, leveraging money and monetary energy as the fundamental best tool that we've got to be able to leverage a new global good deeds economy, and at the same time, fundamentally understanding and acknowledging that we're all, in essence, actions derivatives traders on a day-to-day basis. We're actions derivatives trading, developing traders, and every single day we can develop and write our own little contracts of our actions that we take, and as long as they're asset pointed, and we have derivatives mindset contracts, in essence, that we can develop asset arbitrage, because if you would get the mindset that you don't even like money and you want to give away all your money, and you actually do want to give away all your money, and you actually do give away all your money, and then you actually take actions and you leverage actions that correspond to those supports and those supportive interests and the nature of that given outcome, in essence, that not reverses the casino. That reverses the mindset of the casino to be able to spurt out money into the whole world so that everybody is spitting out their own money for everybody else, because the essence of the symbol of money, in essence, has what is like the Brothers Bloom outcome, in essence, where everybody realizes that they're all part of one stage and they have the ability to be able to take themselves out of the stock markets of these financial instruments that are manipulated markets, typically speaking, and everybody can become George Soros empowered, because everybody can leverage spiritual finance to be able to spit out money like the casinos reversing themselves in backwards motion, and all of the world's energy can be able to correspond to each other, and everybody's playing their own options, derivatives, contracts that are fundamentally backed by actions, action taking, which is then in the form of spiritual finance actions and philanthropy energy generation and good deeds networking of the whole world to be able to connect everybody in the world by good deeds and the symbols of good deeds and action taking through good deeds, in essence, as a form of currency, taking good deed actions. Global good deeds economy is developing a global good deeds economy based upon actions on the backside of actions, and then therefore organically we lead into the global philanthropy energy grid, the global philanthropy energy grid. We then can spurt into the sky, into the space, in through lights shining from all corners of all cities, of all people's mouths in the world. The global philanthropy energy grid combines itself like the northern lights into the sky, and it permeates, and it has the ability to connect all humans, all humanity into the sky, connectedly connected. Through electricity, global philanthropy energy electricity connected by rainbow-colored electricity. And that's the global good deeds economy connected by the George Soros arbitrage, statistical arbitrage mindset, and also that movie, The Brothers Bloom, if you will. So let's play our derivatives game. Let's all set up our Monopoly derivatives game, arbitrage game, where in essence we're leveraging our actions and the essence of a mindset to be able to leverage that arbitrage at all given moment, at every given time, to be able to leverage all your spiritual finance energy, to then therefore forego the essence of the traditional finance markets, to then therefore be empowered by spiritual finance, to be able to spurt light into the world, into the universe, into the sky, on an ongoing basis. And that's all for now. Thanks again. Dink Tech Change for Games. Dink Tech Change for Games Studios. Peace.